future Riley. Hi, I'm Riley. This is my first lesson assignment with my student, and this is...
I'm Brianna.
And she's never played a violin before, is very excited to learn. So the first thing we're going to do is do some like stretches just to make sure that there's no tension anywhere like here or above. So we can start with neck rolls. So maybe you start on the right and just go around the front. I was told by my one of my voice teachers that you shouldn't try to go too far back because you can actually give yourself like an injury. So it's a little bit better to do either half circles or like, I guess, shallow full circles. And you can let your head hang for a little bit, which is pretty fun. Taking deep breaths the whole time, because good breathing is a good cure for tension too. Alright, for wrist and arm tension, we can do some of these, which is super exciting. And then some of these. We did some of these in class. And the goal of these is to make your like arms as loose as possible. So it's not like like very nice and flowy.
Okay.
We won't do any bow work today, but you can also take your arm and put it straight out. And then just make sure that your elbow's not locked at all. This would kind of be how it would be if we were using bows, but we're not that far in the process yet. And then we can do the other arm, even though you won't play bow with this arm, but that's fine. Left arm wants to be included. Okay. And then we can stand up and stretch for a second. I like to do like arms straight up and also go on your toes. Because you have to, because I said so. And then we'll go, I'll like face you. We can go opposite directions or the same direction.
Oh.
Woo! So fun! I always feel this one. Whenever people make me stretch like this, I feel the like crunch of my like stomach folds more than I feel any stretch. And then we'll do what's called a ragdoll, and we'll just flop over like this.
This is like yoga class.
Yeah, it is like yoga class. But you also want to make sure that you release your neck, that you're not holding your neck up at all. I always hold my neck, and my teachers get very mad at me. So you should see behind you. And take some deep breaths down here. And then we're slowly gonna roll up, and you kind of want to like feel all your little vertebrae in your back connecting, and the last thing you roll up is your head. And then you get a second to fix your hair. Okay, so that's stretching. We can go ahead and sit back down. So when we're strumming violins, kind of like guitar-ish style today. So the first thing you want to check on when you sit down is your feet. You're doing a good job of it. I always sit like this, but you want your feet to be like flat and grounded on the floor and like right lined up with your hips, which is pretty sick. And then the second thing, well, with your feet, you want to be on the edge of your chair, like kind of on we call them your sit bones, your like hips, because that really kind of emulates how it feels to stand up straight if your like hips are on the edge of your chair. And then coinciding with your hips being on the edge of your chair, your back has to be nice and tall and lifted. Excuse me. So that this kind of feels like a tabletop. It's super wide. And if you had to set something on there, you could. So, stand up. So we're going to sit down, and the first thing we're going to think about is where our butt goes. And where does our butt go?
On the edge of your chair.
Yes, it does. Okay. What should we do with our feet?
Flat on the ground.
Yes. Very good. And should I sit like this?
No.
What should I sit? Should I sit like this?
Yes. No, you should sit straight up.
Sit straight up. Awesome. Okay. So, one more time, super fast. Super fast. Tell me them in order.
Edge of your seat.
Mm-hmm.
Sit straight up. Feet flat.
Yes.
On the ground.
Perfect. So this is how you want to sit whenever you handle an instrument. So, I'm gonna get our handy dandy instrument out. Just gonna check the time really fast. Awesome. And whenever you get an instrument out, you always want to make sure it's flat on the ground, the case. We won't be using the bows today, but whenever you handle the bow, you never want to touch the strings because the oil in your fingers can leave, I believe it's like slick spots, and it won't play as well because there's no grit. Whenever you grab your handy dandy violin, you always want to grab it by the neck and hold it by the neck. And this is our standard shoulder strap. Very fun. It like hooks onto the. Have you ever used one of these before, or like seen one of these before? It's the part that's higher up obviously goes further back, and then it has these little leg things to where you can literally just like. There we go. Like the leg things go on the bottom lip.
Okay.
And then it just sits like this, which is kind of cool. Do you want to feel that? Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll take that guy off because we're not going to need the strap today either. Okay. When you hold a violin with your already perfect posture that you just learned, the first thing you want to do is make sure. Oh, I guess I should tell you the parts of the violin. This is the scroll, pegs for tuning, pegboard, the neck, the fingerboard, the strings obviously, the bridge, that's the end piece, the chin rest, the body of the violin. Very beautiful. But the first thing you want to do is to make sure that the scroll is like next to your left ear, and then automatically when you do that, the belly of the violin goes against like your belly.
Mm-hmm.
And then your left hand, instead of holding it on the neck, is gonna go right here with your four fingers on top, your thumb on the bottom, and then your wrist straight. And then you strum on top of the fingerboard. So fun. So, scroll at your left ear, belly at the belly. Left hand goes 1, 2, 3, 4, thumb and back. I guess it would be 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, because that's the fingers. I'm thinking piano fingers, not violin fingers. And a strum. So, I'm going to put this back in here, and I want you to tell me, as you pick it up and put it on yourself, how you pick it up, how you make sure that it's correct on your body, and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pick it up by the neck.
Beautiful.
Like a chicken. I'm gonna put the
beautiful
scroll by my ear, and
Mhm.
then belly to my belly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then fingers go here, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of and this can hold, right there. And that's how you would strum. Yeah! Beautiful! Okay. So can I see this back? I tuned it before you got here. And when I tune it, I try to turn these, the pegs as minimally as possible. I always use, the tiny tuners as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pegs seem a little finicky, and there's, nothing that really keeps them in there. So I just use these little guys down here. But it's interesting because one tiny click of the peg literally changes it by a pitch, a whole step. I clicked the peg a little bit and it was it went from a G to a B. It's
Click.
Yeah, when you turn them they make creaking sounds
Oh.
At least the VCU violins which are very nice. I love them. But the little peggies on the bottom do a lot more gradual tuning. Oh, also this bridge isn't glued on there. It's literally just held on there by the force of the strings, pressing down on it. And Dr. Goldie, who's my professor for this class, made a big deal about, if it's leaning, you need to tell somebody, because it's, if it leans and smacks the top of the instrument, because of the, pressure and weight, it's, the equivalent of, a 150-pound person sitting on your violin. It's, that's actually, it's amazing, but it's terrifying. Every single time I take it out, I'm like, is it okay? Okay. So now that you know how to hold it, the strings from the biggest to the smallest, which you know a little bit about music, so I'm sure that you know the bigger strings are the lower pitches and the smaller strings are the higher pitches. So the first one's going to be a G. G. I'll probably also have you sing them when you strum. So the first one's a G, and then the second one's a D, and the third one's an A, and the fourth one's an E. Have fun with that one. But G, D, A, E, which is very fun. So I'm going to hand this back to you in a second, and I'll probably just have you strum all 4 strings and just tell me what they are. And then maybe I'll be like, can you strum me this string? Or can you strum me that string? Just to make sure that you know what the strings are. So,
okay.
there you go. Just going to check our time really fast again. We're at 11 and a half minutes.
G.
Yeah. It's okay if you have to look.
G. D.
Yeah, good.
A.
Yeah, yeah. That's how it sounds when I do it too. Okay, can you strum me D, A, D? Mm-hmm. And can you say them as you strum them? I guess I should do it too. D, A, D.
D. A. No. D. A. D.
Yeah. And when you strum, also make sure that you're strumming over the top of the fingerboard and not in the empty space.
Ah, okay.
So try it one more time. D, A, D.
D. A.
Yeah. Can you do G, E,
G.
E? G.
G. E.
Yeah. Second time the pitch is perfect. That's the next lesson I'm gonna teach you. Let's do G, A, D. I think those are the right pitches.
G. A. D.
Yeah, beautiful. Let me see. Oh, this is not my paper. I have a paper of. Actually, first, what I'll have you do, I'll take this and go this way. And I'll play along with you as you strum. I'm just going to play the same notes that you're strumming.
Okay.
But what you're going to do is you're going to do an 8-4-2-1 exercise, which means that you're basically going to play and sing, say, the G 8 times, and then the D 8 times, and then the A 8 times, and the E 8 times, and then you do it again, but you do it 4 times, and then you do it again, and you do it 2 times, and then you do it again, and you do it 1 time. So like 8 strums, 4 strums, 2 strums, 1 strum.
Okay.
Okay, G. So if we strum 1, 2, 3, like strum,
Mhm.
strum, is that an okay speed?
Mhm.
Okay. So check your posture for me. Nice and straight. And 1, 2, ready, go. G, G, and say the notes too. G, G, G.
I lost
G,
count.
G. That's okay. We'll do it again. 1, 2, ready, go. G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and D, 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 D. Yeah, 6, 7, and A, 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 A. 7 and E, 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 E. Yeah, back down to G for 4. G, 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 D. And then A, 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 E, 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 4, 2, G, G, D, D, A, A, E, and then 1, G, D, A, E. Heck yeah! So good. Okay, now that we've done the 8-4-2-1 exercise.
I hope Shovic's enjoying this free show.
He's having a blast. Okay, so for an assignment that I have to turn in, I had to find a song and write like the open strumming patterns to like sing a melody on top of it. I know you know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's a fan favorite. And so I was wondering if maybe in the next couple of minutes we can play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And I'll sing the melody on top of you.
What a proposition.
Yeah. So the beat for this would be, I know it's kind of strange because it's just like the letter notation, but it would be like D off, D off, G off, D off. Like these little dashes are just like offs. So let's try to play, let's just do the first line for now. So if I give you 1, 2, 3, 4, it'd be D off, G off. Is that okay? Okay. So the first line right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. D off, D off, G off, D off. Yeah. I want to try the next line. 1, 2, 3, 4. G off, D off, A off, D off. Beautiful. Let's try these two lines together because they're the same. So third line. 1, 2, 3, 4. D off, G off, D off, A again. D off, G off, D off, A off. Great. And then let's do these two lines together because I feel like you can handle it. 1, 2, ready, go. D off, D off, G off, D off, G off, D off, A off, D off. Yeah. So let's start back from the top. And if I wrote this correctly, I should be able to sing it on top of what you're saying. So let's start. Could you give me a D? Twinkle. Okay. Let me go. Me.
Singing warm up.
Yeah. Twinkle. Okay, so let's go. 1, 2, 3, and go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Do you want to try again? So the is that tempo okay? I know we took it.
The tempo's fine. I was thinking in syllables instead of
instead of dashes. Yeah, it's a little odd, and I didn't write it too clearly for you. Yeah. So one more time.
Yeah.
So twinkle. Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Oh, you're a star. How I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high. Dude, we're jamming like a diamond in the sky. Bring it home. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Nice recovery. How I wonder what you are. Well, don't actually do that to the violin, but beautiful. Okay, so I'll have you just place the violin back down because for the last couple of minutes of the lesson, I want you to tell me I want you to teach certain things back to me just to make sure we covered them completely. So we stretched mainly to relieve like any tension. Do you remember any of like the stretches we did or like their specific, like what did we do for our like hands and wrists and arms?
This number.
Yeah, to make sure our wrists are nice and loose.
And then we did this.
To make sure our elbows are nice and loose.
And we did neck rolls.
To make sure our neck is nice and loose.
And
we did that thing where we stood up. Yeah, ragdolls. We flopped over like that. It was so much fun.
And then side stretches.
Yeah, side stretches. My favorite. Okay, so what are my checkpoints for sitting in a chair and making sure my posture's right?
Butt on the edge, sit on your sit bones.
Because it emulates the feeling of
standing up.
Yeah!
Feet flat on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Back straight.
Yeah.
Tabletop.
table,
collarbone.
tab, chest. Yeah. Sick.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. And then could you walk me through how if I didn't know how to do this, could you walk me through how I would take the instrument out of the case and like place it on my body in a way to handle it and strum it and everything?
Open it on a flat surface.
Yes.
Pick up the violin by the neck,
Mhm.
and then put the scroll by your left ear, by your tummy, and then thumb goes on the back, 4 fingers on the front. You strum it with your right hand.
For sure. And could you take it out and strum and name the 4 strings for me one more time?
Sure. All right, we got
Beautiful.
G.
Mhm.
Number 2, we got D.
Mhm.
We got A
Mhm.
and E.
Fantastic. I think we're done. Goodbye.